Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you too. I'm Kendall Perry.
Hi, my name is Maya.
So Kendall, tell me about yourself.
Again, I am Kendall Perry, a second-year business administration student from Boston, Massachusetts, but I currently attend Florida A&M University. I currently serve on the class CAB as one of the event chairs, where it is my job to plan, execute, and promote events on our college campus. I also am an equipment manager for the FAMU football team, where it's my job to make sure that they look good out on that field and that their helmets and equipment is safe. Lastly, I'm a part of Sisters Incorporated, which is a community service-based organization on my campus, and it is our job to go out into the community and give service back to our community.
Okay. So, what do you know about Ford Corporation?
A few things I know about Ford Corporation is that it's headquarters in Dearborn, Michigan. The founder is Henry Ford, and it was founded in 1903, and it's also one of America's most renowned automotive companies.
All right. So tell me about a time that you had to adapt to a difficult situation.
A time that I had to adapt to a difficult situation was when I had to move to a new middle school when I was growing up. I was born and raised in a town called Randolph, but I ended up moving to a new town called Braintree, so I had to adapt to making new friends and finding a place in that new school. I ended up joining clubs, which allowed me to make new friends, and it ended up allowing me to find my place in the school that was unfamiliar to me. And I learned, it was a learning lesson for me to be able to realize that in order for you to be comfortable in a situation, you have to step out the box and join things that you wouldn't normally have joined. So that was an adapted situation where I had to adapt to an environment that I wasn't used to.
Okay. Can you give me an example of a time you had to contribute to a teamwork environment?
Yes. Last semester, I joined Sisters Incorporated, where it was our job to fundraise for the organization. So we ended up selling plates of food in order to raise money for our process, and I was the lead over making sure the money was okay, we didn't run out of money, and it was very difficult for me to manage the money and also participate in the events. So it was an environment where I really had to work as a team with my sisters, and it was a learning process for me, being able to manage my time well and working together as a team with my fellow classmates.
Can you give me an example of a time you introduced a new idea or procedure?
Last summer, I was able to work at an indoor go-karting track in my neighborhood, and I was able to learn the ins and outs on how to work an electric go-kart. I had to learn new solutions to keep my eyes out open for dangerous drivers, and I was able to have the ability to slow down carts in case of an emergency. I made sure that the communication was used on the track in order to have an environment that was safe for our drivers. And I learned that communication was key in order for things to go smoothly in the company.
All right. Give me an example of a time when you tried to accomplish something but failed.
A time that I tried to accomplish something but failed was a time when I was back in high school, where I tried to study for one of my big exams all year. I was preparing for it, and I thought I was prepared for it, but I really wasn't. I felt it in my gut that I thought I was going to do great on the exam, but I clearly didn't do that great on it. So it was a discouraging moment, but it was also a life learning moment that I can't just assume that everything's going to go my way. I have to prepare properly in order for things to go in my favor.
So, what is your greatest weakness?
My greatest weakness is my inability to not always be the leader in every situation. I've always been the one in my group that would take on most of the work and always want to be in charge of everything. And sometimes that's not always the good thing to do, because I may have too many things to do on my plate and I end up not producing the best work that I really can do because I didn't give the work to other people. So I think that's my biggest weakness, is not always being a leader and also having the ability to be a follower sometimes.
So, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself still working for Ford Motor Corporation in the marketing division, and also being able to contribute and grow the company to its best potential.
All right, Kendall. So, do you have any questions for our company? If so, what are they?
Yes. Can you tell me about the day-to-day responsibilities of this job, and what opportunities does Ford have for me to learn and grow?
All right. So thank you, Kendall, for interviewing with our company. Hopefully you will hear back from us soon, and best of luck with your future endeavors.
Yes. Thank you for your time, and hopefully I can hear back from you guys soon.